What's up, everybody? It's your favorite 12's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at Fans Hobby Ace Hitter, I believe, which is their take on Ghost Shooter, and also simultaneously the third use of this mold. One thing about Fans Hobby that they certainly have in common with companies like MMC is they are not afraid to use the same mold over and over and over, to varying degrees of appropriateness. That being said, this is on loan to me from Lance, so shout out to Lance. I appreciate the opportunity. And we're going to take a look at this guy, but in order to take a look at him, we're going to look at accessories. I also want to say we're not transforming him. We've shown both methods of transformation now on this channel. We're not going to waste our time with anything regarding that this go round. However, if there's something that stands out as a potential problem or specific to this release, we will mention it and show that. Does that make sense? Let's get started. Comes with two guns. They fold up and they fold out. And if your nail is very pointy or your fingers are very small or some combination of the two, you can get the handle out as well. Really great sculpt, nothing to write home about paint wise because there's not a lick on there. Usually in the older molds, the guns would sit up inside of here, but because there is a difference of transformation, like this backpack doesn't, it's not removable the same way that the other ones are. You don't have that, I don't believe. But as you can see, he can hold it just fine. He comes with a headmaster per usual. The head is able to swivel. Also yellow and white paint is placed upon it. The arms are on little ball pegs. They get up to there. Elbows single hinged. That one's really tight. Can get you maybe just shy of 90 degrees. I think it's fine. Some white paint has been added to the abdomen. And you get the hips on little ball pegs. They can move forward and back, and then the knees are on a single pin but can get you the full range. Now, to transform, you just bend, I guess it has an ab crunch too, to be fair. Bend the legs up, bend the arms up, and you're left with this. A couple things to talk about with this. For one, you get the hat, much like the others, where you place that in independently and can have that look, which looks good enough. If you don't like that look, there's an alternate face. That's kind of a more of an angry face. Same deco with the red metallic eyes. It looks great, and so on. So a couple different options, which is good. The face is painted. It's a white plastic, so the whole face is painted, which is nice. The headmaster can fit in the car as well, and that of course will sit in his body just fine and show the little stats there. And there he is in robot mode, and honestly, I probably should have just showed you the transformation because there is a couple different things. As you can see, the legs are slightly different. All of this folds up and collapses slightly different. This piece here that used to like spin around and flip and go back now just swivels around and comes back. Backpack collapses slightly different. The arms are slightly different. It's got these little shoulder, like there's you'll be able to figure it out. Even the hips, they drop down to go into car mode and then push up. As a result, the proportions are a little affected by that. Not terribly so, but they are. All right, we talked about the head of the Target Master. Let's talk about the articulation a little bit. Up, down, works well. Side to side is okay. Swivel, knocks his little bit off there, but, you know, decent range throughout. Chest, we have a lot of little details in there. Silver, black, all painted on. It's on a ball peg, so you get a little bit forward, a little bit back, a teapot, and a swivel. For the shoulders, you have these bits that get up and out of the way. They're slightly different as well. You have this little flap here, so you can move that out of the way. And then you have a hinge there, and a universal at the shoulder, so you can get the arm pretty much all the way up and around. You have a white piece glued on for a little bit of deco change. And you have some white paint down here at the wrist. Bicep swivel. Single hinged elbow that gets you more than 90 degrees. Wrist hinge. So you get not really too much up, but you do get a little bit down, and you get the swivel. Fingers are on a base pin knuckle. Not the best. Same as usual. Thumb is on its own hinge. Same for the other side. Hips. Ball pegs. Get you out to there. So no issues off full Van Damme. Full Monty. Thigh swivel. It's technically a double jointed knee, but you really only get one of the joints, and it gets you just about 90 degrees. Paint that we talked about in the car shows through nicely. Ankles they double hinge down, And then you get a ball peg at the ankle, so you get ankle tilt up, down, rocker, and additional toe rocker, so you should be able to get everything you need there. So, you know, at least it's not a carbon copy of the other two releases. You know, at least there's a little bit something different and extra and new and exciting, albeit subtle. And I do wish you could still take the backpack off, but it's pretty compact. He does look a little bit more unfinished, in my opinion, than the other two. But feels better than Minerva. He's more in line with Nightbeat in that regard. So, yeah, I mean, decent little offering. There he is with his mold mate, Nightbeat. I did end up buying Nightbeat, but I don't think I'm going to be buying this guy. Not because he's not good, but just because I don't think I need another mold of this with a character that I barely have any recognition of. But yeah, I think they look different enough from one another where they're obviously the same, right? But there's enough nuance there to kind of separate them. And I think the same goes for Minerva, even though I think she's the weakest of the three. Negatives-wise, I kind of miss taking off the backpack. I'm sure other people don't, and other people want it all self-contained, so I get that as well. I think more so for me, the issue lies with the horns. Like, I just feel like it wouldn't have been that much to ask to paint the horns black, and I feel like that's the more iconic look for the character. You know, if these arms would have been black, and then the horns there would have been black, I think that that would have done a lot more to kind of sell the character. I also think that the mid-drift here should have been black. Like, I think there's a lot of little choices they could have made to kind of drive home and identify this character a bit more other than just what we have here at the end, which is decent. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like they were so close to like doing something to even drive it home a little bit more. It's like, why not put the extra effort in? They put the extra effort in with stuff like this, which I do applaud. You know what I mean? Taking it back, reworking it when it wasn't working right. Like, that's what we need from companies, like looking out for us, taking care of us, we take care of them, right? It's a two-way street. But it just seems like this would have been simple. Paint the torso here, the kind of abdomen black, paint the horns and the arms black, and it would just look more like Ghost Shooter to me. I know it's a small thing, but it just seems like something that would have been easily doable. Positives wise, I think the sculpt is good, the materials feel good, the build feels good, the paint is fantastic. Not a whole lot of finishes, but a ton of paint accents to make it look interesting. I love that they took back, and I know I sound like a broken record here, but I love that they had that issue with the front hood, and they took it back and sorted it before putting it out. It says something about how they feel in regard to their reputation. I also love that they made a couple little changes regarding the transformation that are still easily recognizable and intuitive to work around, having known the mold a bit, but it gives you something new and exciting to do while you're going through it for the third time. It's like they took that into consideration, and I appreciate that. Articulation is good. I mean, well, I wish you could get a little bit more out of the knees, to be fair, but for the most part, solid little unit. I recommend it well enough if the character means something to you. Outside of that, thanks for listening, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.